It's Starrylock. And this is also Starry's Lost and Found. I know I'm starting a few minutes early. For those who are here, you just decided to start early. The morning doves are... It's a really quiet morning. Slight chill to the air, but fairly warm, especially if you're in the sun. And the morning doves are making their cries. Coffee chat with Pam's Opinion, G Keyman, the Bud Files, Rune International, Dana Reed. I'm Zaxxon. We're all here this morning. And Pocket Woman has joined us. There is a benefit to being up early in the morning. I know this is not as early as it could be, but I chose this hour to try to get a balance for people from various parts of the world, so I hope it works out. This is a little different than most of the sites I have visited. This is an active site and a religious site. There's a fair-sized hotel up over here to handle the people that come to visit the shrine of the Grotto of the Redemption. There's a picnic area with barbecues and electrical hookup and tables. Other side of the boat is here. And We Dig It has joined us. Good morning, Gene. I do not see swans out there, but apparently swans may bite. And from experience, I agree with that statement. Team Lynch has joined us.
Steve? It's over there.
Ah. And Chris Capoon is here. And here is the swan that will bite. I assume they have more than just the one, but now this facility, they have like 3 different hours set for it. They have their business office, which if we wanted a guided tour, we'd have to go through the business office. They have a gift shop, but the main grotto is open 24 hours a day, so that permits us to come in here. And hello, how are you? Is here from Japan. Remember, if I am talking to somebody in chat that you don't see, it's probably because they're over in the other chat. I have this running on both my channels. Chaz73, Coin World UK. We have 14 people, but 14 very diverse people. Some of these people, some of you are not here before, some of you are not here often, so I welcome you all. The lake over here is very pristine. You're probably thinking, be quiet, I'm just enjoying the birds. And I'll do that for a few minutes as we walk here. They have a playground area for kids that may not enjoy the grotto. We have the restroom facilities that are open. I'm not sure why this is separated off. And this slip scraper used to dig like. Obviously, you get to see the size of this once we're up close. And the church behind it gets dwarfed. And someone has turned on the fountain now. Or it's on the timer, I'm not sure which. This building here is labeled museum, which I assume will open up at 10 a.m. my time a couple hours from now. And would give you an idea of the history. Arsh Kambaj is here. Saint Michael the Archangel. The statue of Saint Michael the Archangel represents the conquest of good over evil. Saint Michael with his fiery sword is casting the devil out of heaven. The pet is done with azurite and malachite copper ore coming from the Ural Mountains in Russia, Zuma, Southwest Africa, and around Bisbee, Arizona. The statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus is placed above the main grotto to remind us of the deep and fiery love he has for us, and has endured the tortures and crucifixion for our redemption. Father Dauberstein, and I believe that is the man who is responsible for getting this built. There's probably a sign that we'll run into with the history at some point. I believe it was the 1890s that he came to be the priest of this parish, and then in the early 1910s he started building it. So. And Deadlocks has joined us. Very crackly. It could also be because I'm on the I get a lower quality because of using StreamYard, and the having to use the cellular connection probably isn't helping much either. But so there is the main entrance. I'm not sure if you can see that with between sunlight and shadow here. There serves as a cornerstone for when they started building this. This is called the Grotto of the Trinity. And I will hold here for you to read it, as it's a small enclosed space, making a lot of echoes, and it would probably be hard for you to hear me. Okay. Apparently, being surrounded by stone is not a good way to get the internet connection you need. I'll try to avoid some of the closer set grottos and hope to get you what I can before connections drop. That was a direct overhead Canadian goose. We have, using various stones, the Sermon on the Mount posted on the wall here. Constant reminder not to touch the rocks. And they have lights up here, so I assume at night we'll end up with some interesting lighting. Well, have a good day or evening, Arsh. I'm not sure what part of the world you're in, but thank you for stopping by. I'll try to get you some of this from the outside, because going in here will probably result in another drop-in cell connection. Yeah, that fixture looked a bit newer than 1912, so I'm guessing there's been modifications since this project started. Such as this, which has a brick for every person who donated a certain amount of money for the millennium, for the gathering for the millennium. Yeah, so probably 2012. This place is called the Shrine of the Grotto of the Redemption. I think I got that right. There was a priest who came to the town of West Bend, which is about 30 minutes southeast of where I live. I have not been here since I was they took us on a tour when I was in grade school. For part of a field trip. The weather is nicer. I thought it would be a good opportunity. That last grotto we were in was called the Grotto of the 10 Commandments. We lost connection shortly after I stepped in there, so just something we'll have to deal with all this stone structure. Team Lynch has changed channels to find other people. The sign says Paradise Lost. The first grotto is on the other side of that stained glass there. And we have a statue of marked Adam and one marked Eve and one marked God's Angel. And this is the Grotto of Paradise Lost. And the Grotto of the Redemption is comprised of 9 separate grottos. The definition of the grotto is an artificial recess or structure made to resemble a natural cave. And this is the second of 9 grottos. So I haven't been doing them in order. I am not sure as to the, I'm not sure if people come here on pilgrimage or what, but we have station 1 and they're marked as they go down, each one with their own mosaic picture. And Outer Banks Witch Jan Marie is here. And this, oh, we got to go around to get this. This is station 2, which has Christ carrying the cross. And 3. Station 4 seems to be missing. I know this is quite a bit different than my normal wanderings, but this was close by and I thought it might be of interest to people. So, and this is station 5. And G Keyman 565 has to go on a drive, so he'll be leaving us. And Doctor Who has joined us. We are at a place in West Bend, Iowa called the Shrine of the Grotto of the Redemption. And it is started being built by the priest who was assigned to this parish in 1912. And rocks and stones from all over the world that time period were brought in to build this structure. Looks like we also have seashells in here. Because we have, I guess my shadow is blocking some of them. And Marland is here for as long as work will permit him, assuming he's at work like he usually is at this time. There's the Catholic Church that Father Dauberson would have become the priest for before he started building this. This is 30 miles to the southeast of my town. So it's in a town called West Bend. It's a fairly small town, and I have not been here since I was in grade school. We did a field trip at that point. We'll head up these stairs. I might lose you. Early, as the stone will block me, but we go in and out of the stonework. Cell sick, you on them, I'm afraid. This gives us an overview. Down there is our Grotto of Paradise Lost and the various stations. And right there is a gift store. I don't think this video is particularly to a lot of people's likings, as I only have 11 people showing up, but it is of interest, whether historic or religious. So I assume there would have been a sign explaining whether Father Dobberson did this all on his own or was assisted, but I have not seen that yet. So, be it the effort of one man or many men and women, it certainly is an impressive collection. Hello, Nightheart. Okay, I'm going to lose you again as I am lockpicking engineers here. I am sorry if I keep cutting in and out. It has a lot to do with the grotto itself is interfering quite a bit with my cell signal. So I guess the essential is just to enjoy what you can and come in here to see what the sign says. I don't know, we may lose each other. The metal detecting channel is here. Okay, we're back again. The Grotto of the Nazarene seemed to have really did a number on Wi-Fi connection, or cell connection, that is. And there is, they don't want you walking on the grass, but the sign is too small to be read away from it. So I assume that it is a picture of Father Dobberson. And Memory Bubble is here. And it looks like what is marked as the rock display studio is probably only open during gift store hours as the door is closed. And our little window here into the display is closed with a pair of wooden doors and a padlock of some sort. And Legolas Lockpicker has joined us. Well, that gives you a quick tour of the grotto. I know I cut out quite a few times. My audio probably has not been that good a quality. There are stairs here that descend into the lake. Oh. I suppose somebody did have way too much time on their hands. And given the fact that they gathered stones from all over the world, there was quite a bit of money being spent too. I was afraid that there wouldn't be enough here to take up the full hour between that and the many areas cutting off. It sort of makes it difficult, I guess. Oh well, as long as people get an idea of the place. And yeah, there certainly were some very large crystals that had been gathered. All the signs use the plural for swans, so I assume that one way over there is not the only swan, but it's the only one I've seen. Last Sunday, I could not film at the rail cars because of this phone is 5 years old now, so it's probably getting close to needing to be replaced. No, it was not fast in 1912 to get rocks from all over the world. Let's see. Room warns me that the rest are hiding and getting ready to attack, and Doctor Who tells me to watch out for the black swans. So. The Canadian geese are certainly loud over here. But there's certainly a lot of mourning doves around here too. So I have down in the description on Stories Lost and Found are links to both MAER videos meet and greet, which will be on about 90 minutes after I have finished. There's also a link for Flthunder with Rob, who has his live corresponding with my own, but extending usually all the way up to Marlon's video starting. If you head over there, use the link and head over there, you can say, Starry rate or something, and let him know that I'd sent you over. I'm going to stay on here for a little while longer, but I had my most viewed video, especially in 24 hours yesterday. Half of the views came from Facebook. If you're on Stars Lost and Found, got 250 views in a 24-hour period, showing a half-demolished sheriff's office. So. Sounds like Liz at Diggin Canuck will not be doing her Sunday coffee except for the first Sunday of the month. But she had been mentioning that she's been very busy, and she's been co-hosting a couple people's lives, and so. The Enchanted Flea Market is happening soon. Can't wait to see what manifests this week. Well, that sounds intriguing, Doctor Who. Yeah, the sheriff's office was built in 1900 and then had some additions in 1980, but it wasn't meeting the regulations for jail cells because it did not have the room to house both male and female prisoners, I think was the major issue. So they got a bond issue passed. I'll head over here to the picnic areas. I find the melodic mourning doves more pleasing to the ear than the honk of the Canadian geese. Oh. It's only about a 4-minute video, but about a quarter of it is demolished. If I'd gotten out of work earlier on Friday, I could have shown them yanking out the jail cells. And if I had been more extroverted, I could have gone and talked to the authorities and see if I could have gotten the locks off those jail cells. But want to make an omelet out of the geese. I don't know where their eggs are, and that's what you'd need to make an omelet. I think the Catholic Church would frown on me just out and out, hunting down and trying to kill Canadian geese, and those geese would have something to say about it because they can get nasty. Why have I not been here since the school field trip? I don't know. It's, one of those places where it's, once it became close by, you think about doing it and then just never get around to doing it, I guess is the answer. It amazes me that when you have a fence around a place, it looks like there's always a place that looks like a car ran into it. Yeah, that does happen a lot. Then again, the Casey's back in Emmitsburg has replaced the same section of outer wall because it has had a car run into the building 3 times in the last 2 years. So. When are you going to do an overnight challenge in an abandoned urban explorer Starry? Well, I'd have to find a good abandoned place. And my shout out videos on Monday and Tuesday and this video are the only ones that I have consistently put out. So I don't know. I went. I had Ro from Diggin and her husband Eric show up on this last Wednesday. The 97-degree weather just put me for a loop, and I did some detecting, which was my first real in the wild detecting, but I didn't get any video made for that. It's, it's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah. Well, I started 10 minutes early, so this is about 35 minutes. It's about my normal length. I've given you a look at the Grotto of the Redemption. If you're ever in Northwest Iowa, that gives you something to come and take a look at. It's kind of nice to do your walking early in the morning where people really aren't up all that much. I might go metal detecting later today. I might go and magnet fish, or I might be completely lazy. So we'll see how things go. I used to install police telephones in police stations. Are you familiar with Positon phones, aka Entrado? No, not at all familiar with that. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Chris. Didn't have the biggest turnout, but I'm thankful for every one of you who did show up and joined in, even for a short time. It was a really nice morning just to get out and do a walk and then sit here listening to the morning doves around me. Not sure how well the morning doves are coming across. It's a very cool sound here right now. It's going to get rainy here again. This last week it was in the mid 90s Fahrenheit, and then this coming a week from today it's supposed to only be in the 60s for a high, so, and with tons of rain. So, yeah, weather. So you'll meet a wide range of people if you go check out Flthunder with Rob. The link's down in the description on Starry's Lost and Found. Make sure you have a Starry raid when you go on over. In about an hour and a half, Marlon will have his creator meet and greet, which is a great chance to meet a wide range of people. And it's treasure hunters of every sort. We have card collectors and metal detectors and magnet fishers and rock hounds, and all sorts of people show up. And Fun with Dirt is the guest today, Marlon tells us. Yeah, that's about what it is here right now, Dana, about 59 degrees Fahrenheit. I forgot to check my Celsius before I started, and I used to be able to just do that math in my head. Not so great anymore. Scrappers and comic books and locks are treasures too. Indeed they are. Well, if I choose to be lazy, I'll at least do a finds wrap up with what I found when I was out hunting with Diggin, and what her husband Eric gave me, because the park in my town, he found a mercury dime, a V-nickel, and later on he went back to the park before they headed off to the hotel to go to bed, and he also found a barbered dime in that park. So, and that's despite seeing quite evident signs of people digging holes in that park, which is a sign that in my town of 2,000 people, there's at least one other metal detector. So, .60 degrees Fahrenheit is around 15 degrees Celsius, my guess. And I know you have to subtract 32 and then it's either multiply times, I think, 5/9. I've even started to forget the formula. That's bad. A lockpicking engineer is already in bed. But as it's 6 hours later in England, that sort of makes sense. But it wouldn't be the middle of the night. It'd be the middle of the afternoon, unless you're not in England. Torchy on the Run has joined us. Yeah, all I can remember about Celsius is, 15 to 20 is pretty good. You get too close to 30 and it's right out. But yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it'd be 6 hours ahead, which would make it 3 in the afternoon. It's about 4 in the afternoon in Western Europe. Oh, that's right. You were even mentioning that you were designing the police stations in South Australia. Silly me. The swan sounds very different than the geese. It is a similarity, but definitely different. Well, even with the 10-minute early start, we're at 52 minutes. That's about 42 minutes after 8. I am going to bring this to a close, as I am using StreamYard. The chat can continue for a while. If I was just using YouTube, everything would vanish because the video would become a private video as soon as I stopped it. But you can continue chatting. If you joined late, you can take a look at my tour of the grotto on replay. There are segments that turn black because the rock structures cut off the cellular signal pretty well. So enjoy your day, or what is left of it, or have a good night, depending on the part of the world you're in. Take care, and we will see you soon.